Oma, good evening. It's good to have you.
Hi, good evening, Cecilia. It's a great pleasure to be on Channel Sports tonight, especially because we'll be talking about Victor Osimhen. It gives me joy and absolute pride to always talk about Victor because I have seen what he's doing in Napoli. I have experienced the love that he enjoys in Napoli, and I feel very proud anytime that I go to the city of Naples, and I always enjoy the benefits of being Nigerian just because of what Victor is doing in Napoli. If you go to Napoli right now, the name Victor Osimhen opens doors. You get free pizza, you get free taxis, you get everything for free just because you are Nigerian. That is how powerful the name Victor Osimhen is in Napoli, and it gives me absolute joy.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on today's program. Now, you followed Osimhen right from time. I mean, when he played for the under-20 team, yes, they couldn't, go to the World Cup and everything. But Victor Osimhen, the way he has grown, I mean, people have been trying to compare him to so many greats. I mean, Diego Maradona, yes, he's been magnanimous telling you, look, I'm not there yet. I just want to win Scudetto, then we'll take it from there. And, of course, with the story coming from England, where Manchester United seems to be interested in him, we're hearing feelers about Arsenal also interested in Victor Osimhen. How will you rate this striker? I mean, what he has done for Napoli this season?
It's incredible. Not just incredible, it's actually special because he has not just scored goals. He has scored very important goals that is leading Napoli towards the Scudetto. They won it the last time in 1986, and of course, Maradona did that. And since then, they've never tasted the Scudetto. And for a city like Napoli, one city that is basically ostracized in Italy, the Napolitanos call themselves Napolitans. They don't regard themselves as Italians. Okay. Football gives them pride. And winning this title will mean so much to them. And Victor has played an integral part in the quest to win the Scudetto after over 30 years. That is how important and significant Victor Osimhen is and what he has done for this club. And you know that he set record. The first Nigerian to score double digits in Italy. He will be the first Nigerian to win the Capo Cannonieri Award, which is the top scorers award in Italian language. It's absolutely incredible, and we cannot overemphasize how important Victor has been to this club and what he has done for Napoli Football Club. It's incredible.
Now, when you look at Victor Osimhen and then you look at what he has achieved for Italy and the comparison with Harry Kane in England, how much do you think is actually worth right now? I mean, if he wants to make a move to England, because he says it's his dream to actually play in England, which is, of course, arguably the best league in the world.
£1 million is what I think Victor would worth right now. And if you look at what he's done compared to the other players who have been bought for humongous amounts of money, you would agree with me that Victor should be going for something in that region, 120, 130, why not even 150 million euros? Because he's been absolutely incredible for Napoli, scoring in over 10 consecutive games. And of course, look at the statistics that you just reeled out. It's beautiful. And for a player like that, what happens next is that he goes for a very huge amount of money. Even joining Napoli, he broke a record. He became the most expensive African footballer, 70 million euros. And what he has done is showing that he's not a fluke. We've seen players who were bought for humongous amount of money who failed to live up to the transfer their transfer fee. But Victor has actually surpassed it. He went for 70 million and is valuing right now much more than that, actually double. And that is the top level of, that's the quality of player that Victor is. He didn't cave in to pressure, because many players, when they sign them for that amount of money, what happens is that they give in to the pressure and they are not able to live up to its billing, to expectation. But Victor has actually surpassed expectations. And that is exactly one of the things he said to me, during one of our last conversations, where he said some person set a target for him. They thought that it was not going to go beyond Wolfsburg, but now he's very happy that he surpassed expectations because he's playing for one of the best clubs in Italy and, of course, one of the best leagues in the world. and is the highest goal scorer in Italy. That is not something that you can just wish away. So Victor right now will be worth nothing below 120, 130 million euros.
Wow. Interesting.
That's a lot.
Yeah, also, of course, Austin's a London church.
I couldn't wait to jump into the music. Oma, when Victor Osimhen said what he said in that report, showing love and respect to the English Premier League, he actually sent football clubs to work. Agents, scouts, everyone out doing their job right here in the United Kingdom. I hear Arsenal fans saying, it would be great for Victor Osimhen to come to Arsenal. Manchester United said, I think they can, do one or two things with him. Up to the last transfer window, Chelsea had their eyes on Victor Osimhen. You're close to the player. And I'm also close to some players. I know the kind of conversations we have. When you speak with Victor, where does he have preference? Does he like Arsenal? Does he prefer Liverpool?
That's a very good question. But to be honest, to be brutally honest, Victor doesn't ever speak about these things to me. I think he has his reasons because he knows where I come from. So he's always very careful when he's around me. I try to put words in his mouth, but he doesn't ever respond. He's just always quiet. When I talk about Premier League, when I talk about possible transfers, he's just quiet. And I'm very impressed by his level of maturity. He keeps this close to his chest. And that is why I've said that what he said yesterday, in my opinion, it was just being very magnanimous. He wanted to say something to the media. Between me and you, Victor has not expressly stated his desire to play in the Premier League. He's kept it close to his chest. He's hardly spoken about it. And I wonder why. Because I am someone close to him. Perhaps he speaks to it about people closer. Because in every relationship, there is a hierarchy. There are people closest to him more than I do. I am sure he must have told some of them his desire. Perhaps
I agree. Because when I have those conversations with footballers and my friends, they just go, they remind me, Austin, you're a journalist,
Exactly.
Just talk to me. Maybe I shouldn't ask you. I'll look for his mom or his girlfriend.
Exactly. Even though I am very close to his girlfriend. In fact, the girlfriend is like my daughter. She never tells me these things because she knows Victor will kill her. So he's always very careful. So it's difficult. It's difficult.
Let's talk about the progression this young man has made. He's just 24. I started talking about Victor consistently right after the Under-17 World Cup in 2015. And gracious goodness, from that time till now, Oma, he always gives us something to talk about. What makes Victor Osimhen a special footballer?
I think what makes him a special footballer is his drive for success. I think Victor is a guy who wants to prove a lot of people wrong. When you speak with him, you can feel the energy, you can feel the fire inside of him. He comes from a very underprivileged background. We all know the story. You lived in Lagos. I lived in Lagos. I was born and raised in Lagos. Olusosun is not one of the best neighborhoods in Nigeria. Victor said to me that in a poor neighborhood, they were the poorest. And you know what it means to be poor in Nigeria? You are stripped of every atom of pride. You are stripped of every atom of sense of belonging. And that makes you want to prove a lot of people wrong because people usually write off people who are not rich in Nigeria. They usually make you feel that you have no chance at success. All of these are the things that have been pushing this young man, and they keep pushing him. You see the way he plays football on the pitch. He plays with so much hunger, energy, and anger. That energy and that fight is what gives him, the edge over some of his, peers on the pitch of play. He wants to prove a lot of people wrong, and he's happy he's doing that, and he's said that to me over and over again, and I'm very happy for him as well.
And a lot of people are actually excited he's Nigerian and giving the country a very good representation. Omar, before we let you go, he's already setting the Serie A on fire. How would you want Victor Osimhen to end this season?
Of course, I want him to end as the top scorer, the Capo Cannonieri in Italy. He's already almost done with that. 18 goals, 6 goals ahead of the man on the second position. That is Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan. And Victor looks like he will score more goals, of course, no doubt. I want him to also end up with his Scudetto, which looks almost done and dusted. Napoli are 18 points ahead of the second. And I also hope, I wish he can also end up with the UEFA Champions League title. A big ask, but nothing impossible in football.
The question I want to ask Oma Akatugba is this. I mean, pressure obviously is going to be coming in for him now. After the interview, when he mentioned that, I mean, he's working hard to actually play in England someday. I mean, everybody wants to play in England. Don't you think he's going to be under pressure? Because right now, Napoli are just, not just 15 points is a lot, but you never can tell. 15 points ahead of the closest rival. And they lost their game on Friday. I can't remember last time they lost. Before that game, they played, at the weekend. The second loss, of the season. So that might just be something you think he might be under pressure with all the clubs right now, I mean, opening their fangs, wanting to actually, have a bite of him.
I think that's a good question. To be honest, it's difficult to, look away. You go online, you read, you see what people are tweeting.
Yeah.
And in truth, in every rumor, there's an element of truth. If you basically get into his mind or be a fly on the wall of his bedroom, perhaps you will hear him talking about the interest from either Manchester United, Chelsea, contact between Chelsea, people and his agent and his club. All of this must have happened. And of course, they've happened before. Manchester United have been in the mention for quite a while. And of course, Chelsea and then Arsenal. All of these can cause a bit of imbalance in his head. But of course, he's a very mature young person. Sometimes I ask him, you are actually, sometimes you behave more mature than I am, and I'm maybe about 10 years older than you are. Where do you get this kind of maturity from? And of course, he says to me that when you suffer a lot, nobody teaches you, but poverty and hardship teaches you a lot of maturity. And that's what Victor has exhibited over the years that I've related with him. And I think with that, he'll be able to manage all of the pressure, all of the noise coming from the media, from social media, and from fans of these clubs all over England. His focus is on the Scudetto because that is too critical for the Napoli Football Club, their history, and everything that the city of Naples stands for. Because if he does that, he would etch his name in gold in the history of Napoli Football Club. And let me just quickly chip this in. I'm happy that he's made it clear that you can't compare what they are doing now to what Maradona did. If you've never been to Napoli, you will not understand. I've been to Napoli a couple of times, and I always tell people on social media, I love Victor, but don't ever compare him to Maradona. That will be doing too much. Maradona is a small god in Naples. His image is everywhere in that city. Sometimes I find it even almost embarrassing that they almost worship a human being this much. That is how important Diego Armando Maradona is to the city of Naples. They don't joke with him. So let's leave Victor and not compare him with Maradona. Let's let him enjoy what he's doing, and let's call Victor what he is. He's doing his best for Napoli, and let's leave it at that. No need to bring in Maradona. Let's not compare. That will be doing too much. Maradona is untouchable as far as the history of Napoli is concerned.
I think I love that. But can we compare him with Harry Kane? I mean, there's a comparison actually going on. So tell me.
Of course, I will go with Victor. Victor is younger. Victor has a lot more to offer. Victor is the future, actually. Harry Kane is not in the best of times. Is above 30. So I don't think that there's even any basis for comparison between a player of 24 and a player above 30. Any football club that is futuristic, that wants to achieve anything in the long term, of course we go for Victor Osimhen. Harry Kane has been there for a while. I mean, no club has actually put in the pressure to get him. But if you make Victor available today, the transfer market will be completely shattered, and Victor will be taken by a club in England in less than 2 days if he's made available by Napoli Football Club. That's the level Victor is right now.
All right, Oma, I want to thank you so much for taking our time to talk to us this evening about Victor.
No, I thank you for allowing me to talk about Victor. On one of the best channels in Nigeria, actually the best. So it's a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you so much.